In the United States, we're bombarded with this idea that anyone can do anything. Children are taught that they can be president or kick field goals if they just work and study hard enough. And this idea comes from a place of good intentions, but it can be hurtful. It doesn't matter how hard we work, we might not be able to do everything we want. We all have real limitations, whether they're physical, financial, or whatever. And there is one character that proves it doesn't matter how bad we want something, it might just not be possible. So grab your syllabus and scream canister, because this is media philosophy exploring the deeper side of personal limitations with Monsters University. Monsters University centers around Mike Wazowski, who wants more than anything to be a scarer, but he's repeatedly told that he can't.
You're not scary.
You don't belong on a scare floor.
Let the whole team fail because you don't have it?
But he doesn't let the naysayer stop him. He hits the books, works out, creates a top-tier scare games team, and then
You look funny.
it doesn't work out. Mike just isn't scary, and there's nothing he can do about it. Even though he worked way harder than any other monster at that school, he couldn't overcome this physical attribute. And this underscores the main problem with the "you can do anything" campaign, because there will always be barriers, and some of them just can't be realistically overcome. Just imagine trying to be a surfing prodigy living in Wisconsin, or a bobsled team from Jamaica that doesn't crash and come into last place. When we fail to achieve our dreams, it can feel like it's our fault, but a lot of times it's really out of our control. For example, if a job posting said that all candidates needed 12 fingers, you wouldn't look at yourself and think, wow, I'm a failure because I don't meet the qualifications. No, you would just say, this job isn't right for me. It can be hard to accept that we can't do everything. I mean, just watch any after-school special or teenage anime and you'll hear the same spiel about succeeding. Hell, I can hear Captain Planet now. Hey kids, do you want to save the planet?
Yeah!
Then just try your hardest. Oh, and you're gonna need superpower rings, the means to travel, the free time to devote yourself to the cause. But most importantly, just be your best.
Hooray!
Work hard and you can be anything. Well, what about that person who got into a car accident and now has chronic back pain? Can they realistically become the next great actor? As much as we'd like to believe that they can overcome their condition through the power of friendship and anime, that's rarely the case. And it doesn't even have to be that dramatic. Simply having an obligation to care for an ailing loved one or to provide for a family is enough to impede opportunity. Barack Obama could have been the smartest guy in high school, but it wouldn't have mattered if he had to work to support his mom instead of going to college. And this is another issue with the "you can do anything" mindset. It is incredibly individualistic. It ignores the fact that oftentimes, successful people rely on others for their success. With this mindset, it becomes entirely the fault of the individual if they weren't blessed with wealth or good health, while totally discounting all the help those who did succeed got.
My father gave me a small loan of $1 million. I came into Manhattan.
Look at some of the cast members of The Office. Jenna Fisher was living in an apartment paid for by her parents while she looked for acting jobs. That financial freedom allowed her to look for acting gigs while the others were serving tables. How many other people could have played Pam but were too busy working their day job? And this isn't to discredit Jenna Fisher's skill or dedication to the craft. It's about recognizing the other factors that led to her success, because far too often we ignore this important aspect. All Mike Wazowski wanted to do was be a scarer, but he was repeatedly shot down. Mike just wasn't right for that job, but that doesn't mean he's totally shut out of the industry. So he wasn't scary, big whoop. Being scary is not the end-all be-all in the scaring industry, just like how hitting homers isn't everything in baseball. Within a sports organization, there are marketers, accountants, groundkeepers, physical therapists, George Costanzas. Just like how Mike Wazowski wants to be the one actually walking through the doors, we probably want to be the ones on the starting line. But only a handful of folks with the proper genetics get that honor. It would be like if Kyle Irving was 4'2". Sure, he could work his ass off, but that doesn't make up for the physical disparity. So what does Mike do? He leans on his strengths and eventually coaches one of the greatest scarers of all time. And that's what we need to do. We need to look deep inside ourselves and be honest about what we can and can't do. Making some compromises is disappointing, yes, but it's better than living in some fantasy that you'll be the next George Clooney when you look like you got hit in the face with a shovel. It wasn't easy for Mike Wazowski to accept that he isn't scary, and nobody can say he didn't try. And maybe you should try too. I mean, just look at Danny DeVito. He looks like he should be on the local sex offender list instead of being beloved by millions of people. And while crazier things can happen, being honest with your limitations can save you a lot of heartache. This is Media Philosophy, exploring the deeper side of entertainment. And if you like this video, do one push-up.